Welcome everyone to the weekly Rotary Club meeting, Rotary Club of Jonesboro meeting. Glad everyone can make it. And let's see, let me call it to order. I can get my bell to work. Here we go. Inspirational moment. Your present circumstances don't determine where you can go. They merely determine where you start. Now I will turn it over to Marie to introduce our program.
Dr. Michael Thompson has been a periodontist in Jonesboro for 32 years. His vocation is periodontics, but his avocation is racing. In 2004, he decided to attend a professional racing school and received a provisional racing license. He raced several tracks around the eastern United States for 4 years when he decided to start his own race team. The biggest issue was finding a shop, but he decided on Braselton, Georgia, near the Road Atlanta racetrack. In 2018, he formed a professional racing team with the International Motorsports Association and started the Prototype Challenge. And that year, his team finished 5th in the Pro Series. And last year, he placed 2nd in the Championship Series. In 2001, coming up in 2 weeks, his first race is at Daytona, and it will be on NBC Sports if any of you want to watch it on Saturday, January the 23rd at 11:30. On a personal note, he's married to Paula Rankin Thompson, and they have 2 sons, Jonathan and Nate, and 1 daughter, Laura. And now I'll turn the program over to Dr. Thompson.
Hello, everybody. I appreciate you letting me come and talk to you. I'm sure this is a little different from what you probably normally listen to, but it's been an interesting vocation, I guess you'd say, besides being a dentist here in Jonesboro. I guess a few things that I left out and didn't tell Marie or Christy Matthews is that back in the mid-'70s, I actually started my little racing while I was in college with a Camaro Z28. I campaigned around Knoxville, Tennessee with Sports Car Club of America, or SCCA, and did that for a little bit. And then school got in the way, and dental school, and I had to give that up. And then, practicing, marriage, kids. All of a sudden, one day I woke up, I was 50, and I decided life is passing me by. And told my wife that I was going to professional racing school. She thought that I needed to go see a psychiatrist first, but I talked her out of that and told her that I'm sure there's some medication that could probably help me with all this. But I went down to Atlanta to the Panos Racing School. Interestingly, Patrick Dempsey was just finishing up when I was coming in. And Tom Cruise also attended that when he was getting prepped for the Days of Thunder movie. So it was a very, very good racing school. We raced only 2 tracks back then, just Sebring in the wintertime and Road Atlanta mainly in the summertime, which was really, really hot. 100 degrees, typically when you're wearing a 3-layer racing suit and racing underwear and everything else. 135 degrees inside the car. It becomes obvious that you need to be a young person doing this. So anyway, I had to start taking care of parents at the time, and I had to put that aside and look for a shop. And we found a building near Road Atlanta in the Braselton community. It's just north of Atlanta, and opened up. We got a car in 2018, and we started our little journey. Small team, but very good people. I was able to convince a couple of the IndyCar mechanics to come over. They were looking to downsize and just do something that was, not so strenuous, not so much traveling and everything. So they came on board, and I guess here we are. We started racing in 2018, and like Marie said, we came in 5th in the championship, which really raised a lot of eyebrows because we didn't have money to do testing or anything like that. We just went to the racetrack and put the car on the track. But my guys know how to set it up. And anyway, we did really, really good. And then last year we pushed hard, and we were right vying for the championship to the last race at Road Atlanta, which is our home track. But we only have 6 races a year, but we are on NBC Sports Network. You have to get a track pass in order to watch it, but you can watch it live. It's only, I think it's like $15 to $20 a year to watch it. But I think usually a week after the race has been televised, then it goes on to YouTube. So you can actually get on YouTube and look for MLT Motorsports and Prototype Challenge, and you can actually see some of our races. We also have an in-car camera, among other electronic stuff inside the car. And I guess there's a couple of videos I wanted to show you guys, kind of give you a taste of what we do. And if Sam will cue up the video, here's one of our pit stops. This was at Sebring last year. To kind of give you an idea, the rear car guy, he changes the tires on the rear of the car. So we come into pit, we fill the fuel tank, we change all 4 tires, and we change drivers. Anyway, I'll let the video run and give you an idea of what we do.
Take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out.
Anyway, that's a pit stop, a typical pit stop. And interestingly, last year, Michelin sponsors what they call the Pit Stop Challenge. For the teams that spend the least amount of time in the pit lane, you're awarded about $25,000, which was a big deal for us because we're a small team. And anyway, we won it. That was kudos to the team and doing such a great job, because not only did we win, but we blew the other teams away. I mean, we were way ahead, which was, I was really, really proud of all my guys. The young man that you just saw there, he started with us at 17. He's only 18 years old. He just started college. And so this was kind of like work study for him. And he's an engineer, studying to be an engineer at Virginia Tech. And he just thoroughly enjoys it. The next video I'm going to show you is a in-car video. It's a fast lap of Road Atlanta. 2.5 miles around, and you'll see my driver did it in a little under a minute 20. Anyway, that kind of gives you a taste of what we do. The car is called a prototype. We race on the track with other cars. There's GT cars, which a GT car has a street version like Corvette, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche. But the prototypes have no street version. They are very futuristic looking and they're extremely fast. And we run with the fastest group on the track. Anyway, I thought the videos would kind of give you a little taste of kind of what we do and the fun we have. But 6 times a year we get together and go to big tracks, Daytona, Sebring, Road America. Yeah, they just have an absolute blast. But anyway, I'll open it up for questions if anybody has any questions they want to ask.
Dr. Thompson, in the first video, one of the guys, we couldn't see them, they were off camera, said, breathe in. What were they doing there?
Well, that's my team manager, and he's coaching him because John, that was the guy changing the tires in the rear of the car. He's young and he's inexperienced, and sometimes he tends to hurry up too much. And, he's just trying to keep him calm. But the guy at the front of the car changing, Michael Verhagen, he used to be with the Ray Hall IndyCar team, and he's knows, a lot more of what to do. So we put John in the rear of the car since he's inexperienced and a little bit safer place for him also. So.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mike. Terry Barnett.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Long time no see. Are you
Yes.
driving these cars yourself, or you just have drivers that work for you?
I have driven the car many times, but I've realized that I just don't have enough time to get my speed up, and age is definitely an issue. These guys are 19, 20 years old. They have no fear. I have a chromosome that is called the life preservation chromosome. And after seeing some of the wrecks, even though this car is extremely safe, I've never seen anybody hurt really bad. We've seen a broken arm here or there, but that's about it. Anyway, they're so much faster. And hey, I want to win. We've won 2 races so far in our short career, but anyway, I enjoy getting in the car. They kind of have me as a backup driver, and with this virus thing going on, we have to mask at the track and everything, and they're very, very strict with that. But anyway, I guess I'm kind of the fill-in backup driver in case something happens. I could step in the car if I had to.
Dr. Thompson, there was a couple questions in the chat. One of those, do you have any sponsors? And then the other
Yes.
one, what's the car number and when will the next race be?
Yeah, the car number is 54 because I just thought if you go back to the 60s, car 54, where are you? And I thought being a young team, I can hear some of the guys get on the radio and say, hey guys, where are you? We don't see you on the cameras. There's cameras all the way around the track. So when we're in the pit lane, we have an array of videos. We actually share with the Corvette race team. So we're paired up with them. So we use their pit equipment, which is because they go to Le Mans in France every year. They have this expensive equipment we could not even come close to affording. So we can see where all the cars are on the track at any one time. And so I just thought it was cool. Let's name it Car 54. Where are you? So that's how that came about. But yeah, our next race is the 23rd. I believe it's around 10 to 1. That's Eastern time because we're at Daytona. But yeah, you can get on our website. I don't know that the website will be up to date at that point. It will be shortly after the race. But you can get on MLTmotorsports.com and you can pull up some of these videos, or you can also pull it up on YouTube. But yeah, the other question, yeah, we do have sponsors. It's you'd have to be mega wealthy to do this stuff without sponsors.
There was another question in the Norm Stafford in the chat. Is the steering wheel on the right? Is it one of those where it's on the right, left, or center of that car?
It's on the right. The car is Ligier. It's made in France. It's a very famous old French race car manufacturer. If you notice, the driver never takes his hand off the steering wheel because everything is on the steering wheel that he needs. It's a paddle shifted transmission. You upshift and downshift with the paddles. Typically, all that's done at wide open throttle. You think it's going to break something, but it doesn't. The transmission is very, very stout.
Is this just an expensive hobby, or can you actually make money doing this?
You can actually make money doing it, but I'm just praying to break even. It's as far as winning money, the money is awarded at the end of the year, and only the top 3 teams are awarded anything. By winning the championship, yeah, it's $100,000. But second and third, it drops way down. So like I said, you have to have some sponsors to help you. One of the interesting things for us is that our series is being moved up to the main series that's on live NBC TV. That series is even more expensive, and we're staying where we're at right now, depending on additional sponsors. So,
how many cars do you have if you have one of those in an accident, or how many do you have a backup? How many backups do you have?
Well, we just have the one car. It's all carbon fiber. It's a carbon fiber tub, and all the parts are joined to the tub. It's crash tested. I mean, we didn't crash test our car, but the cars have to be crash tested, just like a regular street car. But we did have a significant crash at the end of 2018, that season. 2019 season. But it was pretty easy repair. I mean, we had the car repaired at the track. The mechanics are fast. I mean, and there's always a parts truck there carrying extra parts. We carry some spare parts, but some of the bigger parts is just we don't have enough room in our trailer to carry all the stuff. But no, the car can be repaired pretty easily. So.
I just noticed some look like nice sandy areas at the end of a turn in case you straighten it out, which I would have done several times in that video. So I kind of wondered.
The amazing thing on this car is the braking. It's hard to describe how hard we brake. I mean, typically 400 to 450 pounds of pressure on the brake pedal. And we have sensors to measure that, so we know how hard our drivers are braking. But we can go from 165 to 170 miles an hour down to 60 in about 175 feet, not yards. I mean, we'll pull 3 Gs in a turn at times, and we'll pull 3 Gs braking. So the only thing holding you in the car are your straps. And you have 5 belts or 5 straps that hold you in the car.
You showed the pit stop. What's the average pit stop time?
It varies. The way they run the pit stops is they time us from the time we enter the pit lane at the very beginning of the pit lane all the way to the end, and they give us so much time. So it's not like in NASCAR where you'll do a 20-second or a 15-second pit stop. We could probably do fairly close to that, but it's not necessary. To keep costs down, we can only have one of those air guns over the wall at one time. We have 3 different air guns, but we can only have one over the wall, and that helps to keep costs down, keep personnel down and stuff. So, but a typical pit stop for us is about 45 seconds. And that's 4 tires, refueling, changing drivers, and taking off.
And Gary Clark asked, what is the fuel composition?
We run E10. It's strictly race fuel. We have to buy from VP Racing Fuels, which they actually have an outlet here in town. They don't sell the racing fuel that we have to run, But yeah, we're very limited, and they do check us at each race. They get a fuel sample and check to make sure that you haven't added anything.
I've got a question. This is kind of a 101 pit stop question. When I'm watching a race and I'll see them take a pit stop, what's the system that allows them to keep their position? So it's like if you've got someone who's in first place, they have to take a pit stop. What happens to them to rejoin the pack in that?
Well, interesting. Yeah, interestingly, we have monitors on there that one is a sensor that IMSA, which is our governing body. IMSA is a division of NASCAR. IMSA gives us a sensor that's placed on the car, and so every time you go past this electronic eye, it picks up what lap you're on. So the IMSA officials know exactly how many laps you've run, and all that information is transmitted back to us in the pit lane. We also have to declare our tires, and so we can't run anything except the tires that they allow us to run, which are Michelin tires, but they're special tires. And there's a radio identification tag that goes on the back of the car, and it senses the tires when you go leave the pit lane and records it with IMSA. So if they find out that you put some special tires on there, they'll disqualify you.
So some people might be on lap, say 97, and others are on lap 98, and that relates to how it's working.
Yeah, and so it keeps up with it electronically. You used to, in the old days, you used to have somebody, usually your wife or girlfriend, was sitting up on the pit box, and she was keeping count of the laps. But it gets really confusing, especially when there's a full-course yellow, for instance, or there's been an accident and you're involved in it, as to what lap you're on. So with this electronic system, you don't even have to worry about it.
Dana Kennedy had a question. Said she didn't see any mirrors. Is someone acting as a spotter for the driver in any way?
Yes, we do have. You do have two mirrors. There's side mirrors. If you look right there on that picture of the car, there's two side mirrors, and we do have a rear-facing camera that you just couldn't see it in the in-car video, but there is a rear-facing camera that the driver can look up to see who's coming up on him. Hopefully, nobody's coming up on him and he's just passing people. And all that's recorded too. We record all our races, all the parameters from the engine, everything is downloaded via a laptop at the end of the race.
Dr. Thompson, that's very fascinating stuff. I've always kind of been fascinated with those cars and thought I'd like to drive one, but I don't know that I'd be going that fast. So.
Well, it's the car is limited to 180 miles an hour, and we will hit that routinely at Daytona. We'll hit it pretty close to 180 at Road Atlanta also. But it's you just don't seem to feel the speed. I know when I first started racing, when I was racing with the Panos group, I was at Road Atlanta, and I had to go catch a flight to come back to Jonesboro. It was Sunday afternoon, and we had been delayed with our race because of weather. And we got in the car, did the race, did well. We were probably averaging around 140 to 150 miles an hour. And so I hopped in my rental car, took my racing suit off, put on my jeans, hopped in the car, and took off. I'm going down I-85 South, headed down to the airport because it's about an hour drive from where we're located. And, I thought, man, everybody's going so slow. I'm drinking a Coke, driving with one hand. I looked down, I was doing 95 to 100. And I thought, God, why is everybody going so slow? Yeah, luckily I didn't get a ticket, but I did slow down. Yeah, if any of you guys want to ever come down to the track, wherever we're at, just let me know. I'll do everything I can to get you a pass, to get you into the track. I had a couple of people who did come down from Jonesboro last year to Daytona, and they just had a blast. I got them in the pit area and everything. It's a little bit more restrictive now with COVID, But if we have an extra pass, I can get you in there. But just have to call me ahead of time and let me know, and I'll do everything I can to get you into the track, and you can actually kind of hang out with us at the pit lane. So it's until you get there and watch it live, it is it's really interesting.
All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing all that with us, Dr. Thompson. It was a interesting program. And like I said, I've always kind of been fascinated with that stuff. And that sounds like a good time to be in the pits. So.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I thank you very much for allowing me to interrupt your meeting and show you this stuff. But anyway, if anybody ever has any more questions, you can always call me and reach me at the office. I'm pretty much there 5 days a week. So not a problem.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great day.
Looks like that's it for today. So appreciate everybody coming. Glad you could make it. Stay safe, healthy, and we'll see you next week.